The air inside the StubHub Center was electric, thick with tension and anticipation that only a world championship night can bring. Under the bright California lights, two men walked toward destiny from opposite corners of the globe. From Ukraine came Vasyl Lomachenko, the two-time Olympic gold medalist, a man many believe to be the most technically gifted boxer of his generation, an artist whose canvas was the ring itself. Across from him stood America's Gary Russell Jr., a fighter forged in speed and precision, a proud Washington, D.C. native with hands so quick they blurred before the eyes. The crowd roared as the ring announcer called their names, and for a brief moment, silence followed, that rare hush before history unfolds. Both men carried more than gloves that night. They carried nation. Fight hard, fight clean. The energy trembled like static. The opening bell wasn't just the start of a fight. It was the collision of two worlds, two styles, two visions of perfection. Lomachenko, the technician, against Russell, the lightning bolt. And as they touched gloves, the crowd felt it. Something special was about to happen. From the opening round, the tone was set. This would be a chess match played at lightning speed. Russell came out fast, snapping his jab like a whip, trying to disrupt Lomachenko's rhythm before it even began. His hands moved in blurs, combinations firing in clusters of 4 and 5, the sound of leather cracking against air. But Lomachenko stood patient, calculating. Every feint, every twitch, every movement from Russell was studied and stored in that analytical mind. The Ukrainian didn't rush. He flowed, gliding side to side. Halfway through the round, Lomachenko began finding his range, a right hook to the body here, a crisp left hand over the top there. Russell's speed was dazzling, but his punches came at the same rhythm, the same tempo, and slowly the genius of Lomachenko began decoding it. The crowd could sense it too. What began as an even round started tilting ever so slightly toward the Ukrainian's precision. By the end of round 2, you could already see the gears turning. Lomachenko wasn't chasing Russell. He was cornering him in time, not space. And that, as every great boxer knows, is where the danger begins. As the rounds unfolded, Lomachenko's artistry began to surface in full bloom. He was painting combinations with the precision of a surgeon and the confidence of a man who'd done it 1,000 times before. In round 3, his jab became a scalpel, slicing through Russell's guard, setting up that left hand to the body. Russell still had moments, flashes of brilliance, when he'd dart in and land a clean shot. But Lomachenko would answer with an angle, a pivot, a movement so fluid it seemed choreographed. Every time Russell tried to reset, Lomachenko was already gone, slipping out of range, appearing at a new angle, firing a counter that left the American blinking in surprise. The crowd gasped as Lomachenko began landing harder, that left hook digging into the ribs, that straight left snapping Russell's head back. By the midpoint of round 4, it became clear Russell was in with someone different, someone who didn't just fight, he solved. Lomachenko wasn't just winning rounds, he was composing them like music, layering rhythm and timing into every exchange. You could feel the respect brewing, even in Russell's eyes. the acknowledgement that he was facing a mind operating on another frequency. Round 5 brought fire. Both men exchanged furiously, testing each other's heart. Russell dug deep, unleashing those blistering combinations that made him one of America's brightest prospects. But Lomachenko's defense, his subtle slips, his tight guard, his uncanny ability to read motion, kept him one step ahead. Midway through the round, Lomachenko landed a brutal left hand that stopped Russell in his tracks, followed by a sharp right hook that spun him off balance. The crowd erupted. Lomachenko pressed, stepping inside, ripping to the body. The sound of punches thudding against ribs echoed through the arena. For the first time, Gary Russell Jr. looked unsure. His rhythm broke, his pace slowed, and Lomachenko seized control like a maestro conducting chaos. Yet, to his credit, Russell fired back, showing his own championship grit, refusing to back down. As the bell rang to end the round, both men stared at each other. Sweat dripping, eyes locked, knowing the real fight had just begun. This was no ordinary title bout. This was pride and precision in collision. By the middle rounds, Lomachenko's footwork became the story. He wasn't just moving, he was teleporting. One moment in front, the next at Russell's side, firing a left uppercut, followed by a body shot that folded his opponent. The commentators marveled. The crowd stood in awe. They were watching something almost unreal. Russell tried adjusting, switching angles, firing off the jab, but every time he stepped in, Lomachenko countered with timing that felt inhuman. His left hand was like a sniper rifle, clean, sharp, and merciless. Russell's vaunted speed began to fade as the Ukrainian's pressure mounted. The precision of Lomachenko dictated the pace, his rhythm controlling every moment. Russell was still dangerous, still defiant, but he was chasing ghosts, unable to pin down the Ukrainian's ever-changing rhythm. The body shots were taking their toll. The legs of the American champion slowed, his punches less snappy, his reactions just half a beat behind. Lomachenko's dominance wasn't loud, it was surgical. As the later rounds approached, desperation began to creep into Gary Russell Jr.'s corner. His father urged him to let his hands go, to change the rhythm, to take risks, but Lomachenko gave him no space to breathe. Round 8 saw the Ukrainian dig deep into his toolbox, mixing uppercuts, hooks, and bodywork with seamless movement. The sweat flew with every punch, the lights glinting off his determined face. Russell still fired in bursts, sharp, fast combinations, but Lomachenko rolled and pivoted, answering with counters that stung. It wasn't just physical dominance, it was mental warfare. Lomachenko was taking control of Russell's confidence, dismantling him layer by layer. By round 9, Russell's jab had lost its snap. His feet lagged behind his hands, and every exchange ended with Lomachenko's leather landing cleaner. The crowd could feel it. The momentum was now entirely with the Ukrainian. Every time Lomachenko stepped forward, the audience roared, sensing greatness unfolding in real time. Round 10 was pure artistry. Lomachenko, now fully in command, began showcasing the movement, that would later become legendary. Spinning off angles, ducking under combinations, landing crisp lefts upstairs and down. Russell tried to rally, but Lomachenko's rhythm was impossible to disrupt. He glided around the ring, as if gravity itself obeyed him. The commentators called it boxing ballet, and rightly so. It was grace and violence in perfect harmony. Each punch Lomachenko landed seemed to echo louder, every pivot drawing gasps from the crowd. Gary Russell Jr., to his immense credit, never stopped fighting. He dug deep, showing the heart of a warrior, landing his own clean shots, a sharp left, a counter right. But Lomachenko absorbed them and answered twice as hard. The tempo, the energy, the brilliance. It was all building toward a statement. Lomachenko wasn't just proving he belonged in the pros. He was proving he was something boxing had never quite seen before. The championship rounds arrived, and with them, the true test of will. Round 11 was fought at a furious pace, both men throwing with urgency, exhaustion written across their faces. Lomachenko targeted the body relentlessly. Hooks, uppercuts, and straight shots that drained Russell's strength. The American fired back, but the power behind his punches had waned. Lomachenko pressed forward, relentless yet composed, his eyes locked on victory. The crowd, fully invested, rose with every exchange. Sweat sprayed under the lights, gloves cracked against flesh, and for a few moments, it was pure war. Yet, beneath the chaos, Lomachenko's control never wavered. He'd earned it through precision, discipline, and brilliance. As the final seconds ticked away, he finished strong, landing a series of body shots, followed by a clean left upstairs that sent Russell stumbling back. The bell rang, and the arena erupted in applause. It wasn't just admiration, it was awe. When the final bell sounded and both men embraced, the energy shifted from tension to respect. They had given the judges' scorecards read close, too close for some. But the results spoke the truth. By majority decision, Vasyl Lomachenko was announced the winner, a new world champion in just his third professional fight. The crowd roared as the Ukrainian raised his arms high, emotion flooding his face. For Gary Russell Jr., defeat was bitter but honorable. He had fought valiantly against one of the purest talents the sport had ever seen. For Lomachenko, it was validation. The moment the amateur legend became a professional king. The lights dimmed, the ring emptied, but the echoes of that night lingered. A star had arrived, not born, but revealed. And the boxing world, for all its storied history, had to admit they had just witnessed the beginning of something truly special.